All right, DK, your second team for now until the signing is made official. The Pittsburgh Steelers. So their offseason so far, they trade for DK Metcalf, then they sign him to a 5-year, $150 million contract, which is fucking wild. Wild. And they made some other signings, but they did let Najee Harris go. But they don't have a quarterback.
Thank God.
So what will your mental health be like if Aaron Rodgers is the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers? Because all signs are pointing that way. His one of his assistants just accidentally leaked that he requested some merchandise with his name in the Pittsburgh Pirates color scheme. So it's looking like he's going to sign with Pittsburgh.
I'm going to use my Steelers lighter for this section of the conversation. I don't know. The thing is like I think I have a stable and strong enough marriage to survive something like this, but I bet a lot of people have thought that in the past. I have warned Leah that if Aaron Rodgers goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers, the vitriol with that which I will spit towards her team because of him directly will be quite gross. And I can only hope that he goes to Pittsburgh and succeeds, and that him and DK Metcalf and the highest paid defense in the NFL can put together a really great season. Not one I will be banging the drum for here on Missing the Point, the sports podcast, by any stretch of the imagination. However, for the sake of my marriage, if I get to hate him whilst he's doing good, that would bring the most balance to the force, because I have been sort of like loving and supportive about the success of her team because of the context we're able to apply. But unfortunately, that is still a different pirate ship, and alliances are tentative at best in this league. I'm on one ship, she's on another ship, and unfortunately, this is a little bit of a heel turn from the Pittsburgh Steelers in my direction. To be quite frank, I think the betrayal would be on their part if they were to sign an Aaron Rodgers after letting Justin Fields walk away. We had a nice thing going on this time last year. Do you know what I mean? Like the relationship outside of me and my wife, the relationship was building nicely. They were a hell of a lot more entertaining to watch on the defensive side of the ball than my team. They would win games, which was a lot nicer than in the living room than when the Bears were on. I have to say that.
Or the Patriots.
Or the Patriots. And, if they definitely, petered out towards the end of the season, because what happens in the offseason, in the postseason, we figure out who's got a quarterback is really what we figure out. Like, it's great. I want them to do good when Russell Wilson is their QB, and we're all kind of like, maybe he's still got it. And there's a way that you can believe that. But when Aaron Rodgers is their QB, if he genuinely comes in with a chip on his shoulder from New York after I just got to laugh at him for an entire season, and he just starts fucking connecting with DK Metcalf, and they make it really easy on him because their defense is so good, so he doesn't have to be that good. And then you start thinking about his actual touchdown to interception ratio last year, despite how kind of comically bad the games were going and how like washed he clearly was. That touchdown interception ratio plug and played into the Pittsburgh offense is pretty fucking good, to be honest with you. It's like kind of all they need. So, and they need him to not make major mistakes in a postseason situation like Russ did. And the thing is, even Russ at his best was capable of that. Like even at his absolute crime, he was capable of the egg that he laid in the playoffs for the Steelers this year. So you could see him fit with Arthur Smith. You could see them getting him a real running back, doing that Pittsburgh Steelers thing where they either draft like a third wide receiver, because the top two wide receivers are legit. Pickens just became the best wide receiver too in that division, if you ask me. So I think
over T. Higgins, really?
Yeah. Is he still on that team?
Yes. Yeah.
Did they franchise tag him again?
Yeah.
Again?
Yeah.
It must be nice to get a franchise tag as a wide receiver, because the median pay is like $1 billion. Like, why don't they just sign him to a contract? It would cost them less money at this point. Like, you just keep doing it. All right, fine. You do you. But anyway, on the Steelers, I mean, I'll hate it, and it'll be a real kick in the balls that, like, if it works out for them, it's that Thanos meme. Like, did they get good? Everything. Yeah. What did it cost you? Everything.
Everything.
I might be burning my house down by the end of that season if they win 13 games and Aaron Rodgers looks like Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs again, and he has the best defense in the NFL or however it's going to go. But I mean, damn, they could get a running back in the draft now that solves a lot of their problems and doesn't run into the ass of his own blockers like Najee Harris did for the past few seasons. Then, bang the drum slowly. I'm dead. I don't get to participate in the joy of it anymore. But that's, I guess, what happens when you sign on with a different team. You don't get to play that card of like, whatever, he's on my team now, right? Like, that's the card you play if you've hated Aaron Rodgers this whole time. It's like, well, he's my quarterback now. He's not my quarterback. The Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback isn't my quarterback. As much as I wanted them for the past, the extent of my relationship to do well, it's not at the cost of my hatred of Green Bay or the Chicago Bears, my love for the Chicago Bears, my hatred of Aaron Rodgers specifically and the person, the shit that comes out of his mouth and politics and views on science and vaccination, the dangerous idiocy that he has spouted into a microphone over the last few years, the fact that they give him even the oxygen in the room to speak words still boggles my fucking mind. But yet, he'll be the quarterback of my wife's team. And I don't think she'll be too thrilled about that either until when it's your team and he's winning you double-digit games. That would suck. If he went there and sucked, great. Cool. You guys should have signed Fields. Sorry, I don't know what to tell you.
Are you sure that would be great? Like, yes. For you?
I love watching Aaron Rodgers do bad. That's one of my favorite things I've ever done in my life. It's one of my most enjoyable. I am unabashedly a hater of him. You could play the card of like, oh, like why are you so obsessed with him? Why do you care about him so much? He looked me dead in the eyes in the fucking barrel of the camera and was like, I still own you. And that's a guy that doesn't even understand how the fucking measles vaccine works. I can't have that. I can't have that. So someone so clearly and obviously depths beneath my intellectual range look into a camera and tell me he owns me. I can't abide it. Me and him, if we were in the same room, would have had to fight at that point. We would have just had to. And I know he was talking to the Bears fandom, but it felt fucking personal at the time.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So,
because
you know what?
Because it was
Mike,
true.
I think she's going to understand. And why? Because it was true.
Right.
Because it was true. But that we still, and I agree, but we still would have had to fight right then and there. We would have had to fight.
Yeah.
And there's just if there was any Bears fan on that field, they would have had to fight or they would have been kicked out. So, like, of the fucking club, which might benefit them. I don't know at this point. But, yeah, I don't know. I think she'll get it. I think she'll understand. I think she's a true sports fan, and she'll be like, no, babe, you've been great, but I get it. I wouldn't ask you to do that. That's genuinely what I think her attitude will be.
Again, this is still a huge hypothetical, Bobby, and DK, but what happens if he does go there and he delivers them their seventh Lombardi Trophy?
DK would have a meltdown.
This feels like a Brady. This feels like now. I don't think that he's a quarter of the guy that Tom Brady was on the field, but this does feel like a Brady to Tampa Bay situation.
No,
if it happens.
Yeah, that's what they said about the fucking Jets.
Tom
Brady
has tainted
Jets. It's not
anyone over 40 playing.
Well, Tomlin's
and it's because he's Tom Brady. You know what I mean? Everyone's just expecting Aaron Rodgers to have some kind of success after 40 because Tom Brady did, and he was kind of on the same level. But it's just not. It's not the same. It's not the same. It's not going to happen.
Kind of on the same level, but it was already embarrassing.
It was
how much he was brought up in the same breath as Tom Brady when they were both playing in their relative primes. It was already dumb and wrong. It was already completely fucking wrong. So now we're doing it again. We're giving him another. He's not as good. We already know that. Like it's just not. And honestly, he's like, I don't know, off the top of my head, 14 spots down. I think that would be my wager. I think I could name 13 quarterbacks in between Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. So why are we even having this fucking conversation? There's no Tom Brady to Tampa vibes to it. There just isn't. He's not Tom Brady.
Well,
he's not.
I would just say that but the vibe, the comparison here is that they are a quarterback away, especially with what they just did in the offseason with DK. Metcalf, we went to the team.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers were not a quarterback away. They were in the same position as every other team in the league. No, they weren't. You can't prove that because they were in the same exact position as every other team in the league. They were a fucking Tom Brady away. every team in the league was a Tom Brady away in that year. I promise you that's true. So sure, they were a quarterback away. Like everyone's a quarterback away. I'm just a mile away. Everyone was a fucking quarterback. Was a Tom Brady away that offseason. So wherever he went, it wouldn't have mattered. I promise you, we were there. I recognize greatness. I'm not. I know I sound like the old man that won't tell you LeBron's better than Jordan, but like, no. And also, Aaron Rodgers is not LeBron. So no.
And LeBron is not better than Jordan. So I just want to make sure
I'm not letting him into the conversation. Can we all? Yes, I agree. But we need to be the bulwark against letting him into this conversation. Like me and you are the people.
No,
that have always been in this drum.
Out of all the unexpected turns that could happen in our podcasting career, in our friendship, it would be Aaron Rodgers goes to life's favorite team that you had become an apologist for over the last almost 5 years on this very podcast. And then I just wondered, what would he do? What would he fucking do?
I just would like to point out, and I know you know this already, but I would just like to say on the record, you say the word apologist like how people say slurs. Like, I just want you to know that. The venom that you put on the word apologist, you might as well just say cunt. Like, you might as well just call me a cunt. Like, at the end of the day, it's like,
would never do that.
You've been a real cunt about the Steelers for the past few years, man. So that really would blow up in your face. Let's be honest, that's what you were saying, and I agree. I wouldn't be offended by it at all. I honestly, and you could say that instead of apologist next time, because that was like a wounding blow when you said that. You said apologist like it was the word Nazi. It's amazing. It was an absolute skill. Your mic skills, Mike, unbelievable. That was John Cena telling The Rock that he knows he's reading his lines off his hand right there.
Right.
Yeah, I really applaud it. But it would suck for me. Yes, that's the answer to the question. It would suck for me. Everything about this situation would suck for me. I can only hope that it just miraculously doesn't happen because he's such a dick that they meet him once and they go like, never mind. If I was like completely neutral in this situation, I would probably point out the obvious fact that he's not going to get Mike Tomlin fired. And he's basically like coach poison. So if he was going to go into any situation, he was probably going to a situation where he can't poison a coach.
Put the Steelers on
Makes sense.
all the time on the power rankings. Just to stir the pot a little bit more.
Oh yeah. This could be the best thing ever for the show.
Honestly, it's a full blown heel turn. It's really great.
It is.
It's good for the content, but and I will suffer for my art.
We all have.
I will.
To be fair.
It's one of the things I appreciate most about you. Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God.
I agree. You suffered for your guitar skills.
That's correct. Do you before we head over to the NBA, anything else you want to talk about regarding NFL free agency? Any other big? I mean, obviously, the Ravens got their number 3 wide receiver.
The Bills signing Bosa.
I think that could be interesting.
I thought that was pretty.
But other than that, I mean,
Bills signing Bosa. He's going to be in Drake May's face all season. Sorry about that.
All season.
If
he's going to have 10
healthy.
sacks against the Patriots. Doesn't matter. He could only play 2 games, DK. That will be against us, and he'll have 10 sacks. It'd be great.